Kia ora and welcome to today's video. I'm Elvie and today we are doing another sketchbook tour. Now I know it was my last video, but that video was delayed a bit, so it was just by the time I had finished that video I had finished the sketchbook, and it's just been a very social, busy, painting filled few weeks, so I thought I might as well give you guys a tour while also telling you how I enjoyed the sketchbook and all the above, really. So this book I haven't actually used before, well, hadn't before August 25th. It is by Strathmore, which is quite a known paper brand. I've heard about it on the internet, the sketchbook, but I hadn't tried it personally. I got it just off Amazon. And yeah, I actually quite enjoyed it. It's nice spiral bound, which, you know, to each their own. It's got like a cover and then the actual cover, which is kind of like a textured kind of vibe. The first painting kind of set the mood for this, which was a good mood, good setting. The paints worked really nicely on the paper. It's got like a less text. It's got like a hot press side and a cold press side, so one side's textured, one side's not. So this is the hot press side, so it's very non-texture, smooth to apply the paint to. And yeah, I was quite happy with this painting. It's just outside my window with the helicopter pad up here, so I was quite happy with it. Moving on, you can kind of maybe see the texture here compared to over here. This was like a little group one that I did with my friends. Got Chelsea here, who hasn't actually made a feature. She came here for a little holiday visit, visiting all of us, and I painted the gelato we got together, which was quite fun. Very abstract. I didn't bring enough pens with me, so that was my mistake. And then we've got one of my friends here, Alicia. She's a common classic at this point, and she did a beautiful little sunset scene. And then my other friend, she painted the Lorax, even though she hasn't seen the Lorax. So moving on, we've got my other friend who was with us as well. She did a full page painting here, and I did a little daffodil because it's spring. Daffodils are everywhere. It's so beautiful, and I definitely had to paint one. I couldn't not, you know. My three friends, they each painted a butterfly once we next caught up, because I had just gone to the butterfly museum, and all obsessed with it, and so they each did a painting of a butterfly. I think they did really well. Each kind of definitely have their own little style going on, and I know Alicia wasn't 100% happy with hers, but I think she did really well. And you know, sometimes it isn't your best piece, and it's just like knowing that just because one piece wasn't amazing or how you wanted it to be, it's like you can always turn the page, you can always paint something better, and it can just be another stepping stone, you know. So this is the spread, another joint one with my mates. We went to another cafe. This is out Brighton way, so a few buses out. I did this one here of just the fence, bush and a power line at the cafe. My friend did some lavenders here, and then my other friend, she did this one, which is a juice bottle. Chelsea is actually really good at art. She's doing architecture as her degree, so she is just a professional at this point, you know. My other two mates that were also there, Lani and Alicia, very, you know, they do plenty in this book, but they each did like a little plant, same place and same time really, so that's their works. Turn the page, I did a couple because it was at the beach. We went for a walk, beautiful day, and so once we found a log to sit on, I did a quick painting of the landscape. Quite fun, loose, nothing crazy, not really any detail, but it was just a nice flowy sketch really. And same with this one has a bit more detail. I was just sat at a park bench while my friends were playing tag with these little kids that were harassing them, and I decided to paint the slide. And as idyllic as it looks, it was a terrible slide. It was so sad. I was like very hopeful, looked cool, it was beautiful colour, and then it was just such a sad slide. But the painting's quite fun, so it's always fun. Here we've got like at a at a restaurant we went to for dinner. My friends these two got a drink, so they painted their drinks. I think they both did an incredible job. Like this one I'm really proud of these two for what they managed to do. I think they look amazing. And same with Carissa. I did this one over here, but Carissa did this one, and I think she did amazing. Just like the leaves look really good. And yeah, it's a very successful spread, what can we say? Here, this is just last little catch up with Chelsea before she flew out back to Wellington. I was so stoked with this one. This was just across the road. It was a dreary morning. It had the cabbage tree, little flowers, and like I was so happy with this. I'm very proud of myself. And yeah, definitely one of my favourites from the sketchbook. My friend Chelsea, she did the coffee. I know she wasn't 100% happy with it, but I think she did well, and it's quite fun, quite a beautiful painting. Moving on, we've got these two, which I just did for fun. This one was on a walk from Port Chalmers to Dunedin. It was it was off the Portaloos, just over halfway, and they're very blue, and I was like, you know what I'm going to sit down and paint them. And then this one was with Lani and Alicia. We had like a little adventure for the day, and we found this little it was called Let the Meat Vegan cafe thing, and they had a very orange broom hidden in the bush, which I was inspired by and decided to paint, which turned out pretty fun. So even if it's not my favourite, it looks quite cool. Here are Alicia and Lani. They won't make too many more features because they've actually got their own sketchbooks and paints now. So I'm really excited to just see how they progress, and just know they are still doing paintings, even if you don't see their paintings anytime soon. But we've got Lani, she painted a guitar that she bought, and Alicia, she painted the blossoms, because as I said earlier with the daffodils, it's spring, flowers are out, it's so stunning, and Dunedin spring is a blossomy spring. Blossoms are everywhere. It's so beautiful. And moving onwards, I painted my bag, which has my name on it, which is pretty fun. It's a very old bag. It's from 2012, so it's lasted me well. And I had some badges I put on it. The flowers are kind of falling apart, but they were on it, and yeah, it's quite a fun painting. And then I painted, like, swatched out my palette, of course. I actually really like this paper overall. I know we're not finished yet, but I just thought I'd myself say this now. The paper is really nice, and I definitely think it's one on the affordable end of sketchbooks to buy. And if you wanted to make it even more bang for your buck, you could always cut it in half, which I've done for a sketchbook in the future that I'll be using. I've just cut it in half, so I've got two. These ones are quite fun. These are with the Amy tangerine set, and I quite like this. It turned out really fun. Same with this one. This is a painting of a drawing I did with some oil pastels. So that's quite a fun, bright spread, and I really enjoy these paints. I used them heaps throughout the last of the book, and no, it's definitely grown on me a lot. I was a little hesitant, but I definitely have been enjoying using the set and taking it on adventures with me, and yeah, good colour selection for sure. Speaking of adventures with that set, I went back to Port Chalmers. I ran there this time and I painted the poppies they had on the table, which I actually adore this one. It's nice to paint some flowers and actually be happy with how it turned out. And next to it, I just painted what was out the window, which was the town hall and like a hotel, I think, on the corner. And I think the pop of orange in the middle there is a great additive, and it was just a great spread, I think. Turning the page, we've got some flowers using the same set. But this one, I just wanted to experiment, as I always love to do, with pen versus no pen, and just see the different moods it kind of gave off. So this one's kind of more illustrative, and this one's more formal, I feel. Both are quite fun. I don't like, with this paint, it kind of feels weird when you layer it up too gloggy and you don't let it sit in layers, and it doesn't layer quite nicely. That's definitely something I've found with the Amy Tangerine set, but that's okay. It's not perfect. I knew that it's student grade paint, so it'll have its drawbacks somewhere, and I just happens to be with layering, so that's just something I noticed. And if you could feel the paper, you could feel that it feels icky, but that's okay. Still love using the paints. Speaking of more of the paints, you can see me swatching it up here, doing little clouds. The clouds were kind of glowing, so I wanted to try that, and I painted the very sentimental photo of my grandmother at the iconic dinosaur park back home. So that was really nice. Very bright, this spread. Moving on, we've got some gouache. Taking a break from the watercolour, just using the Winsor & Newton Designer gouache. Wasn't 100% happy with the spread, but it was nice to just have a change from the usual watercolour and just see how gouache looked on this paper. And it's quite a nice little spread, this one. Next up, we have another favourite spread. I've got quite a few, which is amazing, in the sketchbook, but this one's just of stuff on my table, just my diary, and like a bottle that I've repurposed for my water for paint, my selection of colours that I use for that, and then up here we've got the Denise set and me doing a painting of it, of my cup. I love how the cup turned out. It's quite fun. I'll give you a little close up of that side too, but yeah, no, really nice, pretty looking spread. Here we've got some more doodles. Nothing too crazy to say here. These are just some more doodles. I've got flagpole and Port Chalmers, and then beach at Brighton. Very simple yet effective spreads, I feel. Paintings from while watching a movie with my flatmates. Just painted a couple things, the front door and a photo from my sister sent me. Very grey, but quite fun. Sorry about that. Just something came up. But yeah, no, cut in. Just a simple spread really for me. Not my favourite, but that's okay. Got some paintings. Me and my friend, we went on an adventure. Big day. I did paintings. This was like the start of the day, end of the day. So, long day. Different cafes. But really fun nonetheless. And did the last one at Kiki's as well. Really good food. But this one is just a photo my sister sent me, and I really like it. Turned out very nice, I feel. First time doing people in a while, just because it's a daunting topic. And yeah, overall, it was a really nice sketchbook to use. Yeah, that's all that book had. For the next sketchbook, I've got this one, which I have done my first spread with. Here's the label. I got it off Amazon as well when I bought this one, and I have decided to do a little something different here and just use one set. So I've got my goal here if you'd like to pause and read it, but I've painted the palette that I'll be using, the colours, and yeah, just using a limited set for this whole sketchbook, which quite a few pages to get through, but I thought it'd be a nice little change, especially since it's so easy to, well, for me anyway, just use the same paints over and over again, and different paints and not appreciate the ones, and you just forget mixing tactics and stuff. So I thought it'd be a nice little challenge to try to. But thank you guys for watching. I hope that was fun, interesting, and I'll see you in the next one, whatever it might be. Have a good day.